right, good morning to you, Grenada, Carrier, Cupidi, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the rest of the world. Welcome to Good Morning Grenada for today, Friday. It is the 21st day of April in the year 2023. Yeah, that is the date and the time for you this morning. It's indeed another privilege, happy one at that, to be in your company once again. And by now, this is something that I look forward to. I don't know about you, but I do look forward to that. And just peeking at our Facebook page and see, I think I'm going to start to give an award for the first person that comments on the program. Cynthia Bay says, good morning to you, Cynthia. How are you this morning? I do hope that all is well and that you'll have a very, very great day and a wonderful weekend. Yeah. So it's that time again when we do what we do best. So many things are happening around. What's buzzing this morning? Crime and violence continuously taking the spotlight, especially among our youth. All right, Nesta Felix, good morning to you. Good morning. She says good morning to everyone. I happened to be at a sort of engagement at one of the nation's secondary school in the city yesterday, and it involved a little violent action and among some youngsters. And when we look at the reasoning behind the violent or apparent violent behavior, it's just it's trivial. It's just a matter of, I think parents need to spend more time with their children at home, talking and getting to know what's going on in their heads, because in that case both parents are saying that the behavior that the boys displayed is not what they usually do at home. So we need to get to know our children's friends, who they associate with, all right? Because one of the things that we are observing nowadays is that the boys and girls too, to some extent, they're mostly followers. They're not leaders. They can't lead the pair out of something that could interfere with the future. I mean, you're seeing two of your friends fighting or getting into an altercation, and you simply just stand and laugh and look on and cheer. That's wrong. Parents, and again, father figures. We need to have the father figures in the children's lives, especially the boys. The ladies they try hard, but God in his wisdom, he said it's a man and a woman to bring a child, and there was a reason for that. There is a role that the fathers must play. All right, there are some things that the mother can't do. Yes, the mother will provide care and attention and affection and so forth, but there are some roles that the fathers have to play. Fathers, please stop being just sperm donors and be there. All right, you are there in the initial process. See the task completed. It's not a long period. Just if you're going just by the legal framework, it's just 18 years. As for me, I'll be in my children's lives until they die or I die. They're always gonna be daddy love child. Yeah, that's the way it is. So it's a clarion call for fathers. Fathers, I'm calling out on you this morning. Whether you and the mother have a relationship still, the mere fact that you have a child with her, that means there would have been some good times. Remember the good times and the product of the good times, the gift. All right, what did you do with the gift? When the master asks you that, what are you going to answer him saying? What did you do with the gift that I gave you? Did you nurture it well? All right, folks, let's get into the meat of the matter. And today the word of the day is an adjective. It is wistful. Wistful. It is spelled Wistful. It's an adjective, as I said. And what wistful means, it means to be full of or okay, to be wistful is to be full or full of, or to inspire yearning or desire tinged with melancholy. All right, wistful can also mean suggestive of sad thoughtfulness. Again, let's take that again. Wistful, it is spelled Wistful, wistful. And to be wistful is to be full of or to inspire yearning or desire tinged with melancholy. All right, melancholy is a sort of mellow kind of vibes, mellow feeling, downish kind of feeling. Wistful can also mean suggestive of sad thoughtfulness. Yeah, you're sad, you're thinking, and someone said, why are you so melancholy today? Why are you so wistful today? Why are you so low-keyed? You're usually an upbeat person, and today you're just flowing with the moments. That's not who you are. Here's how we can use the word. As the car pulled away, Leah cast one last wistful glance at the house where she'd spent so many happy years. Yeah, she's sad. She's leaving. I remember as a youngster growing up, whenever I go to the airport to see somebody take off, to travel, I'd cry like a baby, man. Yeah. I was being wistful. Folks, it's 23 minutes on to 7 o'clock. I want to say good morning to all my aunts and uncles. Auntie Elsa, good morning to you. How are you? Yeah. Uncle Trevor. Trevs. Long time we ain't play some All Fours, man. Yeah, he's a trickster in All Fours. Morning, Sammy, Skeety, Potty. Yeah, good morning. You all are the celebrants of the day, all right? Okay, let's now look at the thought of the day, and we have a repeat. So many folks called for it to be repeated today, so your wish is our command. And it augurs well with those who, aspire to be brilliant. You understand? And I must go back to that conversation I had with Miss Biesinski last week. Good boy Milo, rather. And she emphasized the importance of reading. Reading. Parents, again, I'm calling on you. Ensure that your children read. Not just necessarily their school or textbooks, but read. Get their creative juices flowing. All right, it makes a whole lot of difference. So the thought of the day is the man who does not read good books has no advantage over the man who can't read them. Yeah. Good morning to all the good parents of the nation, man. There are some folks that, they bend over backwards to ensure that their children have what they as parents didn't have. And that's good. I emulate you this morning. Yeah. I award you this morning. Ever so often, sometimes, while traversing the road, I would see a young man with a baby on his shoulder and a bag, signaling that maybe he is either going, based on the time of day, either going to drop the child off to the daycare or picking up the child from the daycare. There's one gentleman that I watched ever so often. He usually walks the Laura Main Road, heading up to Pedmota, coming on from Redgate and so forth. Yeah, he always has his little daughter walking with her, her bag in his hand and everything like that. And that is, oh my God, that feels good. Remind me when I had younger children, man. I used to stand over the crib in the night and look at them, watch them grow. All right, so fathers, once again, I call on you, all right, to play that father figure role in your child's life or your children's lives, all right? Again, the thought, the man who does not read good books has no advantage over the man who can't read. Nice, 20 minutes on to 7 o'clock. What's buzzing? The Grenville bus terminus to benefit from visual and operational upgrades. All right, a site visit was made to the Grenville bus terminus in St. Andrew one of the areas identified under the MIT's Visible Transformation Project, with representatives from the Ministry of Infrastructure and the Ministry of Health. The facility managers, bus operators, and passengers and vendors were engaged on challenges experienced and the vision for the area. Suggested upgrades raised for consideration by those engaged include an enhanced green space with benches behind the main building for persons patronizing the food booths, additional vending facilities, improved guttering and drainage for flood mitigation, an expanded clinic and a designated washroom facility, and outdoor recreational area for bus operators. The Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation continues to identify critical areas across Grenada, Carriacou, and Pidi-Martinique for infrastructural, environmental, and aesthetic enhancement under its Visible Transformation Project. What areas in your parish do you think should benefit from the government's Visible Transformation agenda? Okay, so that's a question. We'll have that conversation this morning. I'd like to hear from you. That would be your village call. Okay, scrambling for space to traverse the sidewalk in the capital, St. George, will soon be a thing of the past. That's all again entangled or encompassed within the transformational agenda, the Visible Transformation Project, VTP. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. Reparations group to be launched Monday, April 24th. Will see the launch of a group in London to further strengthen the Caribbean's lobbying efforts for reparative justice. That sounds good. Okay, testing the political temperature. Just how hot is it? Well, that depends on who you talk to nowadays. The question comes as the dust is kicked into the air nearly 1 year after Grenada held early general elections. All right. That's also buzzing. Meanwhile, the apparent increase in violence among students is not lost on Grenada's Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell. The apparent increase in violence among students is not lost on Grenada's Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell. Okay. All right, violence. Here it pops its ugly head again. This is a blurred video. All right, I'm not going to show this video, okay? Okay, waiting on the water, Jenny. Many have resorted to hoping and praying as dams evaporate in a very arid season of the year. Outside looking wet today. It seems as though we're going to get some rain. We'll wait to hear what's happening from the weather forecast this morning. So these are the stories that are buzzing mainly, and at the end of the newscast on the radio, that's on GBN radio, classic 105.5 and 9. We'll have the conversation. Those of you who are on the television platform, we've got a rebroadcast of last evening's television news. That's it. We got a break. Good morning. So says Veronica Sandy. Good morning, Gordon, Innocent Joseph. Blessed day to everyone. Barbara M. Hippal. Good morning, Mr. Gordon. Barbara, good morning. How are you doing? Long time in a seagull. All right. And Mr. Felix says hi also. This is where we take the break. We've got to do the news. We'll be back after the conversation. Don't you go anywhere.
Maroon and String Band Music Festival, Friday, April 28th to Sunday the 30th. 3 days of intense and rich cultural diversity on display. Day 1, Friday, April 28th, Piano Village, 6 a.m. The opening rituals, wetting of the ground and blowing the shell. 3 p.m. sharing of the smoked food, Saraka style, into the Flambeau Parade and official opening ceremony. Day 2, Saturday from 11 a.m. Strings in the City, downtown Hillsborough transforms with the sweetness of live string band music. Then at 7:30 p.m. we all journey to the Botanical Gardens for cultural explosion, and the night ends with a stirring performance from Sabrina Francis and Solid the Band. Sunday, April 30th, day 3, Sunday's party night. It's all about the bands from 4 p.m. at Paradise Beach. Come see performances from cultural groups and Kiriku's live bands. It's a long weekend, so we're gonna make it an all-nighter. Saturday tickets cost $40. Sunday tickets cost $20. Groups of 10 pays a special price, $50. Kirikou Maroon and String Band Music Festival. Let's celebrate our traditions and culture culture. They fortify us against adversities.
And so it begins, a journey like none other. Every moment has the potential to be unforgettable. Bring home a piece of the tropical green forest with every emerald. Capture the sparkling light of flawless water in a diamond. Make the sunrise and sunsets last forever. With precious colored gemstones, the essence of happiness is in our most precious memories. So, when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will last forever. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
Thanks for joining us. Just how hot is it? Well, that depends on who you talk to nowadays. The question comes as the dust is kicked into the air nearly 1 year after Grenada held early general elections. GBN's Pert Thomas tried to get a finger on the national political pulse today.
Many have been airing their opinion on social media and on current affairs programs on the recent saga between the parliamentary representative for St. Andrews Northwest, Delma Thomas, and the New National Party. Thomas aired her side of the story publicly at a recent meeting in her constituency, noting a fallout of grace because of certain positions she articulated on the possible way forward for the party following its defeat at the 2022 polls. The issue have sparked much discussion and has been a trending topic in recent weeks. Here's what some had to say today.
I mean, Dr. Kid been leading for the last couple of years, and you need somebody that is young and vibrant. You have people in the party that could do it, but in politics now, people just look at the amount of years they're serving the country and in politics, and if you choose a younger leader, it does have a little dispute in the party. A young, vibrant leaders of the Honorable Peter David, Honorable Emily Pierre. Those are my two thoughts at the moment.
To be honest, I don't really see that, I mean, he do a tremendous job for the past years he have been there, so I think, and he's in power now, so I guess, things might happen, but I believe if Kip Mitchell is in power, maybe better as how he usually be. I think the boss should be there still.
Age is a fact. You're too old to lead, but at the same time, you're dealing with a very youthful population, and considering the age of the population, you need a leader who basically is more in tune with the basic, the majority of the citizens, because the majority of our citizens are maybe under the age of 40. So you need somebody who could keep up to the time, basically. You telling me that within the ranks of the NNP administration, there is no one who is capable of becoming a leader? That does not speak good for the leadership of the party. You're supposed to have someone that could walk in your footsteps. And if at that point in time now, 20, 30 years later, you still has not found someone that could take your position, what does that say about the party?
Some were reserved in their comments, expressing concern about being labeled with a political brush and being maligned. Nonetheless, they offered a few perspectives.
I take part in political affairs, but also talk much about politics, because I know when you talk about politics, they take it and they're brand new then. Yeah. So everybody brand new. So I like to stay on neutral. Yeah.
I don't take part in politics. I can't answer that question, and I don't even watch the video.
The changing of the guard is an age-old dogma dating as far as 2013, when the electorate was told it would be the final run for office. As it has turned out that this is a discussion that may live on as a dream for several years to come, despite years of indication that a 76-year-old leader was ready to hang up his political boots and help mold and guide a younger successor. In 2022, the lingo was one for the road. Many wait with waiting breaths as they seek to observe how the story unfolds. For GBN News, I am Pert Thomas reporting.
Now, a very frightening episode played out in the community of Boca St. George on Wednesday. Two schoolboys were involved in a fracas there. One was left nursing serious air and bodily injuries, while the other also sustained injuries. GBN contacted the Royal Grenada Police Force today. Officers said that the matter has been drawn to their attention and an investigation has been launched. A gut-wrenching video emerged on social media highlighting two male students from a school in St. George involved in a scuffle with an unidentified weapon. One of the students sustained a serious injury to his left ear. His peers were heard screaming at the site of injury and calling for urgent medical attention. Officers of the Community Relations Department of the RGPF indicated to GBN that both students sustained injuries. One is hospitalized while the other is in police custody. In a recent interview, Assistant Commissioner of Police Vanny Cohen addressed the issue of violence among youth. He said a holistic approach was needed.
As violence among youths continue to be a serious issue within our society, another heart-wrenching video emerged on social media on Wednesday afternoon. The video showed two male students from a school in St. George involved in a scuffle with an unidentified weapon. This resulted in one of the students sustaining an injury to his left ear. Other students can be heard screaming at the site of the injury while urging him to get medical attention. Officers in the Community Relations Department of the RGPF revealed to GBN that both students sustained injuries from the incident. One is hospitalized while the other in police custody. In a recent interview with Assistant Commissioner of Police Vanny Cohen addressing the issue of violence among youth, he said a holistic approach needs to be taken in order to combat the issue.
That we are seeing requires a holistic approach, the whole of Grenada approach. You have social services that needs to get on board, you have the schools that need to get on board, you have the police force obviously. We are on the back end of this process. Back end meaning after the crime is committed we get involved, but we need to have preventative intervention from social services, from the schools, from NGOs, from families. We are particularly concerned because we see these things after a crime is committed. What can we do as a nation to ensure that the direction of young people is changed, that the quest for violence is diminished, and it's going to be a huge effort. This morning I've had
the incident between the students occurred on Wednesday evening in the village of Boca. For GBN News, I am Rena Pert Thomas reporting.
Meanwhile, the apparent increase in violence among students is not lost on Grenada's Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell. We link with Nisha Paul for his take on the subject matter.
Amidst increasing violence among the nation's youth, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell says the establishment of violence prevention programs in schools can play a crucial role in ensuring that young people, especially at-risk youth, are exposed to and taught how to master life skills such as conflict resolution, effective communication, and emotional intelligence. According to the Prime Minister, the Caribbean region has one of the highest rates of violent crimes in the world.
Our youth are particularly vulnerable to violence, with high rates of involvement in gang-related and interpersonal violence. Education is arguably the most powerful preventative method against crime and violence, providing young people with the knowledge and skills they need to pursue career opportunities, make informed decisions, resolve conflicts peacefully, and avoid involvement in violent behavior.
The Grenadian leader expressed this view in his remarks at CARICOM's just concluded symposium on crime and violence in the Caribbean, which was held in neighboring Trinidad and Tobago this week. He says more training is needed to address the issue of violence among youth.
Teachers and school staff should also be adequately trained in violence prevention strategies and equipped with the resources they need to address violence among their students. We also need to engage with our young people outside of the classroom. Mental wellness and opportunities for young people who have been exposed to violence at a young age to seek help, talk about their experiences, and develop mechanisms to cope are also important.
Prime Minister Mitchell says it is also necessary to establish community-based programs to provide support and resources to young people at risk of involvement in violence and crime.
These programs should focus on mentoring, the introduction of positive role models, and skill-building activities that promote positive decision-making and healthy relationships. The government also has a role to play in curbing combating violence and crime amongst youth through the creation and implementation of policies and programs that promote educational and development initiatives in at-risk communities. This includes funding violence prevention programs, developing and enforcing laws and regulations related to violence prevention, and coordinating efforts across different sectors.
Crime rates vary from country to country and are influenced by many factors. According to worldpopulationreview.com, the overall crime rate is calculated by dividing the total number of reported crimes of any kind by the total population, then multiplying the result by 100,000, because crime rate is typically reported as X number of crimes per 100,000 people. Statistics shows that Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Venezuela, and Guyana are among the countries with the 10 highest crime rates expressed in per 100,000 people globally. For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.
Social media platforms have infiltrated all aspects of life. The platforms are viewed as channels through which young people are being influenced as they contemplate solutions to their conflicts. GBN's Nisha Peters has been examining the issue.
Young people are all too aware that the number of comments a post garners or how many people are watching a live stream can make it extremely difficult to pull out of a conflict once it starts. There is a growing concern across the region that the large technology companies behind social media apps need to be more tightly regulated. Much of the concerns has focused on the use of social media as a means to transmit violence. The use of social media came under the microscope during the Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community CARICOM meeting on the occasion of the regional symposium to address crime and violence as a public health issue. The meeting, which took place in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago on April 17th to 18th, was alarmed by the epidemic of crime and violence in the Caribbean, fueled by illegal guns and organized criminal gangs as a threat to our democracy and the stability of our societies. During the roundtable discussion, social media was one of the topics discussed. Prime Minister Dika Mitchell says that the youth are more suitable to get the message across to their peers.
I think the starting point would be to ensure that we actually have more young people as the ones doing the talking and the communicating. Because I think and I consider myself young, so I'll exclude myself here. I think the we talking to them suggests, which is understandable, being a traditional problem of we know what's better or we know what's best for them. And I think as much as social media could, in a sense, be viral for negative things, it could certainly be just as viral for positive things.
He believes that social media can also be used as an avenue to curb the youth violence in the Caribbean.
The use of social media has to be to encourage and reverse that cultural norm that it is okay to resolve conflicts. It is okay to pull social rank or status, particularly amongst young persons, by being violent. And I think, therefore, what we have to spend time on is content development developed by young persons. We can use the creative economy as one approach to do that. Arts, music, to re-engineer the behavior of the next generation of Caribbean citizens to say that there are alternatives to resolving conflict. There are alternatives to career paths that does not involve ultimately guns, drugs, and gangs.
The Prime Minister believes that there are avenues to use social media positively.
It's not going to be easy, but I think if we spend the time there, we are more likely to be able to have that behavioral change. And I believe that is where the public health issue comes in, to ensure that we are not always in response or reactive mode. Because once we talk in crime, once we talk in police, we are essentially talking after the fact. Because the violence has already happened, the crime is already happening. So I think certainly, as much as it is, in a sense, a sometimes wild west approach on social media, there are opportunities in my mind for us to use it positively.
Prime Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Terence Ju, had this to say on the matter.
Social media is being used as a means to transmit violence. We heard about the COVID virus, and it's transmitted if you cough, if you touch here and you touch there, it's transmitted. Violence can also be transmitted. And so one of the effective ways of transmitting violence, I'm just using what he said and putting it in medical terms, is that social media can become an excellent conduit to transmit violence, and people are using it.
The education systems to empower our citizens and better enable their socio-emotional development in recognition that the social and emotional learning of the child is as important as technical and academic achievements. Nisha Peters, GBN News.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via Superb Service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
Girl, the children are growing up so fast. When I leave here, I am going to take Tevin to get his MMR vaccine.
Kayla was supposed to have another appointment for that same vaccine. But Natalie, I'm not sure. On social media, they're saying that it's not safe. Plus, I can afford to miss work.
Girl, the vaccines are safe for decades. They protect our children. You got vaccinated, and I'm sure you're all right.
Yes, but these diseases aren't out now.
Grenada is open to childhood diseases from all over the world. Today, we have a choice to get our children vaccinated or not. Go get it done, girl. It won't take long.
I suppose so. Anything for my princess.
I want to be protected.
Check your doctor or the Ministry of Health to get the information on immunization against childhood diseases, including HPV and polio, and COVID-19 for elderly persons and persons living with non-communicable diseases.
Network News, welcome back. Many have resorted to hoping and praying as dams evaporate in a very arid season of the year. Pert Thomas reports.
A grant of $30 million under the UK SIF project has been lost by the NDC government due to the past NMP administration's failure to implement the projects. The fund was lost because, among other things, it was not implemented in a timely manner. One of the main project arteries expanded the West Coast into the city of St. George. Implementation Minister Andy Williams, who indicated that the plan would have covered Concord to St. George, but sadly, boots were not on the ground and the funding was repossessed.
We had funding from UK SIF to do a water expansion project and to do the Western Main Road. That was on the books for years now. Under the previous administration, and nothing was done. Right? As a matter of fact, we were about probably a year and a half behind schedule when it came to implementation. Last year, because what was going on with the UK, they decided to cut back on grants and so all over, well, outside where they made commitments. Now, if we had signed that contract before, they would have honored it. But because it was not signed and everything was not in place, they took it back because the project was not implemented in a timely manner.
The project aimed to improve Grenada's water and sewage network by increasing efficiency, building climate resilience, and reducing water sector risk. It was expected to result in an expansion and upgrade of Concord's existing distribution network by constructing a new plant and storage facility. The minister said that his administration tried their best to save the funding for the project, but was unsuccessful.
No, the Ministry of Infrastructure tried, the Ministry of MIT tried. We tried to do our best to see how we can save it, but we could not save it.
right? And this is why the Ministry of MIT is so important to work with other ministries to ensure that we have a better implementation rate so that we do not lose grants and so in the process. Because right now, if we lost a grant, in order for us to do the project, we have to go and get a loan to do it. And the grant was free money.
In an earlier interview on GBN's To The Point program on Wednesday, the minister said that this is not the only grant funding that was not implemented, but reassures the public that his office is on top of things.
Government priority projects gets done. Now imagine last year, up to last year, we had World Bank projects that approximated, let's say, $100 million. Over 4.5 years, we only spent 13 million out of 100 million.
Nothing was done.
Nothing was done. Now, when this ministry came into operation, we tackled it straight away. And right now, we have funds being used from those projects. Now,
the loss of the project has been a major source and shame and hardship for the Grenadian people. For umpteen years, people have been complaining about inadequate water supplies, especially during the official dry season. On a daily basis, callers on GBN current affairs programs, Good Morning Grenada, and the To The Point program are heard lamenting instances where they are forced to go without potable water for 2 or more weeks on end. In other instances, people are complaining about the color and the poor quality of the water emanating from the taps. Minister Williams told GBN that this is a regrettable state of affairs, but the NDC administration continues to place priority on this very important commodity. For GBN News, I am Rena Pert Thomas reporting.
All right, so while many await the water genie, you will not be allowed to light bush or any other fires. You see, the Ministry of Agriculture announced a no-burn policy today. The ministry said that following consultations with the fire department of the RGPF, burn permits will not be issued with immediate effect and until further notice. It explained that this is necessary due to the extreme dry spells being experienced and the predictions of dry weather conditions for the upcoming months. The public will be advised when burn permits will again be issued. Be reminded in the meantime that in accordance with the Agricultural Fires Act, continuous revised laws of Grenada, any person desirous of setting fire on land which is under cultivation or in the course of preparation for agricultural purposes must apply in writing to the Chief Extension Officer or any officer authorized by the Chief Extension Officer for a license to set a fire. Any person who sets fire to or procures, aids or abets the setting of fire on any land without the appropriate permit can be both fined and imprisoned. Furthermore, the laws of Grenada require every person who intends to set fire or to cause a fire to be set to give notice to all neighboring households. The penalty for non-adherence to the situation shall be a fine of $500 and imprisonment of up to 3 months.
WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners, to the conversation this morning. Those of you in the diaspora, good morning, and thanks for being with us as usual. You know, it's always a good thing to be in touch. Nothing's wrong with that. All right, good. As you notice, I've got with me in the studio this morning is a handsome young man. He hails from the Carenage in St. George's. His name is Darren Jackson. And by his look, you can see he's a celebrity, right? So, welcome to the studio. He calls himself Young Pert. Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Innocent.
Mr. Innocent?
Yeah.
What?
I like to put some respect on it, you know?
How are you? How is Young Pert doing this morning?
Well, I'm doing fine for the most, you know. Thank God for life. I'm up and well, you know. So I'll give praise to that, you know.
All right, all the time, all praise.
Yes.
Right. You're a musician, a singer, and so forth. You look rather young.
Yeah.
All right. I wouldn't ask your age on national on national media, but you look rather young. How long have you been involved in music?
I've been in music, involved in music around 8 to 9 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what genre do you perform?
I perform Afro dancehall, R&B, hip hop, and pop.
Okay. And what got you involved in music?
Well, I basically got into music because of my friends in school. Basically, music was not always my passion, my go-to. I wanted to be a doctor. You know, but then when I was in school, we used to like sing and stuff. You know, when we get breaks and stuff, and then my friends thought like I was good at it, freestyling and stuff, and writing. And then they said, "Man, I should try it," you know. And then at the same time, too, one of my biggest inspirations to coming up was Michael Jackson.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So then after that, I just I took their word on it, and I just tried, and then it ended up becoming something that I've got into, and it was a part of me, and then I just took it from there.
Let me ask you this: what school did you attend?
At Grenada Boys Secondary.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm gonna deviate a bit from the music now. You're young, so you must be observant and seeing what's happening around. We're seeing a lot of violence among youngsters nowadays, and mostly, well, the youth in general, but mostly our young boys. What does that bother you? Does it concern you? I mean,
well, to an extent, yes, because it makes it. So I say it makes us uncomfortable, because it's like, I mean, we're in an era where, like the youths itself, like boys just want to be like this kind of badness thing, which is not necessary, because everybody wants. I don't know if it's for some level of respect, but I mean, if you show respect, then you get respect. It doesn't have to always be like you have a negative demeanor or this, like, kind of bad boy way about you.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, like, we should be able to like learn to just live together, talk, reason out. I for myself as an individual, a guy, would like to just reason out and have respect for people regardless. I don't like to bring anything negative or feel like I'm a heavy, as they say, in this kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think is the main cause? Why do you think the youngsters are fighting, especially among themselves as peers?
Like I said, it's a level of respect, and I feel like social media have a lot to play with it. Sometimes I like sometimes the music you listen, what they see in being portrayed and stuff, and a lifestyle that makes it feel like being bad is cool, but being bad is not always cool because you have a lot of consequences that are heavy consequences, Sometimes you go and you be bad and you see like the incident with the schoolboy not lose, but he is, I mean, come on, Sometimes you end up in a kitchen, your hand come off foot, something you end up might die.
I'm seeing a lot of young middle-aged guys in particular with a long and a short hand. We refer to them as clocks. You know, one show in a minute, one show in the hour.
Yeah.
It's sad. Just a quick peek at our Facebook page. Someone says, Paula Paul says, very sad. Something really has to be done about this nation youth fighting like that. All right, they should have school programs for the kids to stay out of trouble. And someone responds, Agatha Spy says, do they have steel pan in school still? Get the kids involved in extra activities after school, sports, volunteering. Keep them busy these days. Parents and grandparents partying with their kids. No one parenting. Sad.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on those comments?
That's some good comments. I feel like growing up in school too. Like, one thing you should do is like find out what children are interested in. It's when like me as well, like, you know, what I love to do from a young age, like, you know, if we have like, you know, your comfort or teachers or whatever, yeah, programs like say to find out what their needs are, like what do they want to do, I feel that could help them in terms of keeping them away from the violence and certain things, like when they go home or wherever they go, you know, and just talk to them. I feel like
because Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell said that he said that he thinks that some programs must be instituted in schools dealing with violence, and this is where the Ministry of Social Development comes in together with the folks, Mr. Tyrone Buckmeyer and the team at the Legal Aid and Counseling Clinic, because I was saying to I happened to be at a meeting yesterday where two youngsters got themselves in an altercation, and what was even more humorous about it, they fought in front of a police station. You understand? That is real badness. You know, and when asked if they knew it was a police station, one said yes, one said no. But even after being, you know, separated, one of the older of the youngsters used a set of obscenities to the police and in front of the police station. So this tells me something that's just a doke, in colloquial speaking, a doke attitude.
Yes, it's crazy. It's
you
crazy.
know, and it calls for concern. So what do you think? You're young yourself. Like I said, I wouldn't ask your age, but as we say, I'm still seeing your mother's breast milk on your face. So that means you're relatively young. From a youth perspective, what do you think what can be done to control these youngsters? I've seen one fighting with the police already. You know, good fight. Where do you think that problem came from? Do you think, as one of the Facebook posts said, the parents and the children are partying same place?
That one of the things to for parents, talk to the kids more, sit down, have a meaningful conversation with them as much as you can, as they can, because that does help too.
Okay.
You know, I believe like when I sit down with my mom and my grandmother, then my aunts or whoever, and I'm talking and I'm holding conversation like certain topics, I feel more comfortable and I gain more reasoning and understanding from it. So it brings a level of respect at the same time. If my like a elder or somebody, you don't have to be my parents, but an elder might give me a good advice or sit down and talk to me about life or like certain things that could help you and uplift you. Not to that, it make me feel better and good, so that I have a sense now, okay, like I really taking it into thought that, you know, maybe what you saying now, guitar trying, you know, you tell me not to do this or not to do that, and I understand where you're coming from. So, you know, I have a more level of understanding about how to go about doing things.
Now, we came to talk about your music, but I think you're a godsend this morning, because you're the youth representative this morning. There's something that you made a comment, right? When you speak with your mother and your grandmother and so forth.
Yeah.
I did not hear you mention a father.
Oh, father too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fathers have a big part to play too.
That is what I wanted to hear you say.
Fathers have a big part to play too in a kid's life.
Is your father very influential in your life? If you don't feel like answering, you don't have to.
I would say yes. Yeah.
Right. How important do you think fathers are to their children, especially boys?
Very, very important, because the boys especially, they have a lot of love for their mother, but they look up to their father in terms of like how his movements, what he says, how he does things, you know. So that instills a level of, if a father is being good, like he watching you taking care of his mom, he's taking care of you, the things he's doing. And as a boy, like you watch that and you get from like say, you know, I want to be just like how my father is, like, you know, taking care of his family and doing what he does, you know.
Yeah. You're into music. Folks, let me tell you this. This was not supposed to be the conversation this morning. Young Pert came to talk about his music, but I just thought that I'll grasp the opportunity to, you know, hear a youth perspective on that spate of violence that we're seeing among our youngsters.
Yeah.
Christopher Martin said, "Just like you." I want to be just like you.
Just like you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so talk to the fathers out there, because you're young, but you're old enough to know what a sperm donor is.
Yeah.
All right. We have too many of that, sperm donors. Guys just delivering babies here like it's bread they're delivering to the shops and not looking back.
Yeah.
Talk to the fathers out there. Tell the fathers out there how important they are in the lives of their children, boy as well as girl.
Fathers, one and all, you guys are very, very much so important, because by the end of the day, that seed that you're giving out or you're abandoning is you. It's part of you, and you have a major role to play in that child's life, whether it's a boy or girl. You know, because by the end of the day, we need you just the same, as much as moms do, and a lot. And I think I had that conversation was like last night or day before. Like, we are just fine. Like, I don't know how, like, as a father, like, you have a child and you wanna abandon them and not be in their life when you have such a major role to play, you know. And that's one of the things I say, like, when I growing up, like, if I have a child, I would never abandon my child. Like, I would always want to be there, because I know how important it is to be a father figure in a child's life, you know, the encouragement, the motivation that comes with it, you know, and that could change a child's life, determine whether they go up or they go down, you know. So fathers, you just have to be present in your child's life. Do not abandon them. Show them love, be there, support. That's all they need, you know.
Oh, wow. Folks, I'm touched. Now I'm going to challenge you. All right, I'm going to challenge you. I am going to challenge you with that responsibility of using your music platform to address some of these ills as it relates to fathers and children.
Okay.
All right, I'll give you a challenge. Write a song on that.
No problem.
You think you could do that?
Yeah, I could do it, man. I actually wrote one recently, which is Big Baller. It's a conscious one about the lyrics in the details, like more of understanding, like basic living.
You want to give us a touch?
Yeah.
Yeah, give us a touch. A cappella.
Okay. Me give thanks to the Lord from awake this morning, from a wake up. Another day on the earth, who knows what's waiting. 'Cause through trials and tribulation, everything's frustrating. But me never once quit, 'cause me always put the work in. As my mommy said, another dollar, another day, another challenge, just a different way. Everybody struggle is not the same. A lot of people cry to release the pain. So me just do my part. Now mix up in a gang and war. 'Cause although life could be hard, determination take me. I was born a star, yeah. Call me Big Baller, whoa. Even though it's hard, yeah. I just go harder. One day my light will shine.
Folks, give him a round of applause wherever you are. As a matter of fact, that was a cappella. Let's take one of Young Pert's music. He calls this one Sweetie. Give us an intro. What is Sweetie all about? What was your trend of thought when you were penning this song?
Sweetie was just a freestyle, you know. I was we was in the studio and stuff, and we was just vibing with me and a friend, and we was just gonna do something, and we just said, let's just make a song, and we just freestyling, and then he went first. He could not get nothing on it. He tried, and he said, "Yo, Pert, come and take over, man. You know, see if he could do something." And then I gonna freestyle something, and I just came up with. I was thinking about candy.
As the name of the song, or?
Yeah, like candy itself. But then I say, like, I want to use our next word, and I say, like, you know, in terms like how you just say, like when we eating sweets, we just say sweetie, Anita sweetie. And then I just came up with the lyrics and just named the song Sweetie afterwards.
But does the lyrics line with what you're just saying? Because when I see the name Sweetie, I think about you talking about your girlfriend.
Yeah.
You see what I'm talking about? I know all of this thing, boy. Folks, let's take a listen to Young Pert's Sweetie. All right, this is a Grenadian artist, Young Pert, and let's take a listen.
what she wants, cause she's different from the mother. Opens up her closet, and it's filled up with designer clothes. She's always in the top shit, so pretty that she's always on the topic. She ain't even got a cop shit, pulling up in the drop shit. Sweetie, sweetie, sweetie. Must say your body fine, my girl, and it's dreamy, dreamy, dreamy. Me have to tell you one more time, that it's sweetie, sweetie, sweetie. Must say your body fine, like oh, and it's dreamy, dreamy, dreamy. Me have to give you all my love. Me have to give you all my love. Won't you swing my way? She said only if I fall for you. I can't see no other. All I see is you. Pull up in the whip, it got the top, hey. Tryna get it close to me like this Bombay. I love her more than Jesse, love Beyonce. Speaking about Jesse, I need Beyonce. She got me hooked, I limit that down. Got all that ass in the back, like whoa. Shorty ain't the average, cause she living lavish. Making all these other niggas just look broke. Bitches running up on her, better put on the red lights. You might be a casualty nigga, so get your hair right. Shorty just the top of the top, cause she's a boss, right? But I'm the nigga she living with, so that shit alright. Sweetie, sweetie, sweetie. Must say your body fine, my girl, and you dreamy, dreamy, dreamy. Me have to tell you one more.
Young Pert, you might be named Young Pert, but you're a big man in the business, man.
Yeah, that was just one of the release that got me the most attention, you know, that make people know about my stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you from Grenada. I keep asking Grenadian artists whenever they come to talk with me about that. You in Grenada, so I expect you, with your size, your appearance, and so forth, to be a real soca star.
Yeah.
Why not soca? You ever thought about soca?
Yeah, I thought about soca, but I mean, I don't want to go against the grain. Although I love soca music and I appreciate it in its entirety, and everyone who does it, but I don't feel it's me. Basically, it's my niche.
Okay, that's not you.
That's not my niche in terms of how I could bring out my full potential in what I do.
Okay. You must have an inspiration. You said you liked Michael Jackson, but locally, who motivates you, or who motivated you from the start to get involved in that?
A lot of people. My friends, my mom, family.
Tell your mom hi.
Hi, Mom.
And tell Daddy hi too. I hear you talking
and
about
hi, Daddy. Hi, Daddy. Hi, Daddy. Good morning to you both.
Okay.
All right. So it's a number of people that played a part in that. You know, that pushed me to where I am. And I also too, I don't really share this, but my inspiration too is just basically seeing other local talents and people that put forward themselves and doing something good. That also motivates me also to push myself.
People like who?
People like you might be doing music, you know.
Yeah.
I might see on something inspirational, like you do some money, it hit me, and I'm like, wow, like I like to see that, you know.
Okay.
I think like I have to book up. So if I was to individually say, big up Triple, big up Tamara, bring up Chloe Baldio, Jefferson, you know, Jonathan. Who else I can name? Big up all the soca artists, Mr. Killer, Vaughn, everybody doing their thing. Yeah.
Okay. What can we expect from Young Pert in the future? Are you just going to concentrate locally and satisfy your local audience, or you see yourself going out, being Grenada's ambassador out there? This is, I'll be very honest with you, this is not my genre of music. I'm a calypso lover. Not even soca per se, calypso. But I listen to all kinds of music based on my job. All right, but what I've just seen and what impressed me even further is that even at this embryonic stage of your career, you have a top-class music video.
Yeah, thanks.
So I think that the sky is your limit. So where do you see yourself going?
I see myself becoming Grenada's first international R&B superstar. You know, I mean to be bossy on it, you know, but that is just my dream.
Oh, we had Jefferson and them out there already.
Yeah, Jefferson and I'm going, but that ain't stopping me still. Yeah, so it's whoever first reach.
There goes the competitive spirit.
Yes, but I just see myself going outside there, representing my country well, making good music, and impacting the lives of other upcoming young artists also for the future to come.
All right, let me give you some comments that some of our Facebook. Paula says he should go and sing in different schools in Grenada to encourage the kids. Ann Jackson says, best morning, Mr. Innocent. Okay, morning, Ann. Paula says, he funny too. All right. When someone tells me I'm funny nowadays, I ask them, what exactly, which are the funny
you mean? I know, right? Okay.
The youngster has shot, man. Love Child Kim says, Jay-Z needs to discover you. And Mark says, sounds good, or sounds great. Well-disciplined young man, so says Paula. Sylvina Charles says, I encourage you to give your life to Jesus Christ, young man. He loves you.
Yeah, thank you, Sylvina.
Yeah?
Yeah,
do you go to church? Or do you... Well, let's leave the church. Let's leave the church out of it.
I'll be honest, I used to go to church, and then I stopped for some reason. I don't know, but I'm willing to make up my mind to go back, as I feel like I just need to. But although that doesn't stop me from praying and giving thanks and reading my Bible and stuff.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, there is someone who wants to talk with you. Let's take that call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, man. I have to say hats off to that young man. I have heard this song from time to time, and I had not the slightest idea that song came from Grenada. This song comes from the Carnage. This little youngster from the Carnage, man, you great. And I applaud you, and I hope you all the best in the future. Just keep it up, man. Keep the flag flying high.
Thank you, caller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Yes.
And you ain't starting to cry in my studio this morning.
Nah, I ain't gonna start crying, man.
You cry when you go home.
Oh, cry when I go home.
No, to be very honest with you, I just like the caller, I heard the song before because, like I said, I have to listen to a lot of different genres of music based on what I do. But I never, ever thought it was local.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that also.
Yeah, I never thought it was local. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Brother Innocent.
Hi, welcome to the program.
Yeah, morning, young cut.
Yeah, morning to you, sir.
No, this is the inspiration youth in the school supposed to be listening to and are scared of. That is talent. No, the youth have to try to search in themselves to find them talent and stop the violence. He don't want no talent in violence. So I'm glad for him.
Right.
A lot of youth need to take heed of this young brother. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I did not have the intention of opening up the lines and so forth, but even before that is divine intervention because I said to you, I want you to be a youth ambassador.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I gonna talk with Minister Ron Redhead and see how we could get you on board to do a tour, a school tour.
Yeah.
Visit the schools and talk to the youngsters. Good morning, caller.
Yes, Minister. Good morning.
Welcome.
Yes, I want to congratulate the young man. Although somebody called me while this was going, so I didn't really hear much of it. I want to support the person who advised this young man to give his life to Christ. Because you see, God gave us talents. He gave us the ability to do. But as you say, he used to go to church, but you don't know why he stopped. The devil had stopped him. The devil don't want him to go the way God wants him to go. And we need the young people. Without Christ, they're going to continue. The devil going to continue to destroy their lives and make them do things that are wrong. That's the devil's purpose. And this last day, that's what the devil is heading, to destroy the youth. But if they have Christ in their lives, it will be so much easier to cope with all these situations in the world. Because without Christ, you are weak. You have nothing in yourself. Because you believe in yourself or trust in yourself. You can't believe in yourself and trust in yourself. You have to believe in God and trust in Him. He's the source of all things. So, young man, give your life to Jesus if you have not done so yet, and He will. Because let me tell you something. Not because you see everybody out there doing things and achieving big name. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know what's behind the push. You don't know what's behind the push. and you have a soul in you to be saved. So just let God be your source and let God lead and guide you. Have a blessed day, everybody, and God bless.
Have a blessed morning to you also.
Yeah.
What you say is true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's always Roger. I don't know how people come about it things or what they're doing, but I believe, like I just always say this: read your Bible and stuff, accept Christ, pray. Above all anything, read your Bible and pray. And the Bible is something that I gain a lot of wisdom and understanding from just the words in it.
Right. You turn just like that, as Oliver Samuel say, Braps, you turn a celebrity this morning. You know?
Yes.
We have another caller online. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to the program.
Good morning to the young man.
Good morning to you, sir. Good morning.
Yeah, well, you have a nice voice and your song sound great. I too, when I heard that song, I thought it was from foreign person that sing that song and in that international world. I thought it was even on the Billboard chart already, that song.
Ow.
Right. And then, well, what I will advise you, the person that advise you to go to the schools and sing for different schools, that is a good idea because that will give children inspiration. Because in school, I remember that when people come to visit school and talk, we get good inspiration from it. And in the musical world, I could remember that we had a steel band in the school, and we played in a concert in the school. We played a song from Songs of Music, but it wasn't a big steel band because we created that from like I know a lot of people knew that the grape juice tin, Milo pan, this is what we take and a whole set of them and put together and turn it into a song.
Okay.
And we made our drum set and everything out of it.
Okay.
As it was doing good. Second, what I want to ask you now, you say you're from the Carolina, do you have any St. Vincent descendant? Are you related? Some background?
Yes, my dad is a Vincentian.
Right. The reason why I ask that because I know in the earlies from over the convent come right back to the cinema. That was people from St. Vincent that came and lived there. And they started the long line fishing in Grenada because we used to do more fish pot and shoot fish. And up to the last man I knew, I think if he was part of him, there was a man they called Cosine. He was a fisherman. He was one of the leading Vincentian fishermen, Cosine.
Okay, caller. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Mm-hmm.
Are you up to the challenge?
Yeah, of course.
Do you see yourself going around to the various schools and other young institutions, like for example the Reformation Center in Grand Bacolet and so forth, and talking with youngsters?
Yeah, of course. I must say one of my dreams came true recently in going and talk to the youths. My first ever time doing that was with the St. George's Anglican, the Heinze. Yeah, that was such a good experience, you know, and I'm grateful for the I don't know if it's Miss Duncan from the senior side. I don't know if I got the name right, but she that called me and put me on it was for Karate, and I'm so appreciative of that. You know, all up to this day I'll still talk about that. My first ever, and I'm so appreciative of that. It was very nice.
Greatness is in your future, youngster. Mr. Minister Honorable Ron Redhead, you have a call forthcoming from me, all right? Mm-hmm. Anything you want to say before, you know?
Yeah. I would always want to say hats off, peace and love to everyone, to all the youths and everyone outside there. You know, just stay focused. Don't go down the wrong path. Don't let anybody peer pressure you. Don't go into any violence or anything. As they say, like you have talent within yourself, you know. There's other ways to do it. If you have to push by yourself, and then afterwards you have to seek help. Talk to your mom, your dad, talk to family members, talk to your neighbors, get good advice, you know. Just push yourself and just don't stray and do no wrong things or go on the wrong path, you know, because greatness lies in everyone. That's what I have to say.
Folks, let's give it up for Darren Jackson, goes by the sobriquet Young Gun.
Yeah.
Papi, remember me when you reach up there, all right?
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm.
Folks, we take a commercial break. We'll be back. I've been talking with Darren Jackson, Young Gun. Young Pert. Young Pert. We'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
But when you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me whenever you're in need. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide. The light that shines our way. Wherever your road leads, we'll be right there with you. Wherever your road leads, we'll make your dreams come true. Next time, next time, next time, right next to you.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Girl, the children are growing up so fast. When I leave here, I am going to take Tevin to get his MMR vaccine.
Kayla was supposed to have another appointment for that same vaccine. But Natalie, I'm not sure. On social media, they're saying that it's not safe. Plus, I can afford to miss work.
Girl, the vaccines are safe for decades. They protect our children. You got vaccinated, and I'm sure you're all right.
Yes, but these diseases aren't out now.
Grenada is open to childhood diseases from all over the world. Today, we have a choice to get our children vaccinated or not. Go get it done, girl. It won't take long.
I suppose so. Anything for my princess.
I want to be protected.
Check your doctor or the Ministry of Health to get the information on immunization against childhood diseases, including HPV and polio, and COVID-19 for elderly persons and persons living with non-communicable diseases.
Angie, don't you know that you should not fly kites near electrical poles and wires? You should only fly it in open areas. If the kite gets stuck, it can cause power outages throughout the village.
Then I'll just pull it down, Johnny. Simple.
No. You shouldn't do that. You can get shocked. You should call Grenlec at 237 and they will come and help.
Alright.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Welcome to the highly anticipated second season of Caribbean Medical TV, the first and only medical TV series that showcases the Caribbean and the emerging issues on all health and wellness forums in our region. Like Season 1, the voices of our very own citizens, our local and regional doctors and medical experts forged the basis of the show. This season, we take the first groundbreaking original show even further. This series aims to empower our people with knowledge, from ways of detecting to ways of healing ourselves, protecting citizens with chronic diseases from COVID-19, while showing how they can manage their conditions effectively and safely receive needed health care while preserving what constitutes the very core of our Caribbean culture, its predilection for flavor, spirit, and rhythm. This is truly a holistic wellness agenda for our Caribbean people.
right, folks, a busy morning, but it's with a colleague this morning, a second lap of the conversation this morning. I'm blessed with the presence of GFA's communications specialist, Dr. Rhea Murray.
What?
Yeah.
I'm getting titles this morning?
Of course. After you get a whooping, you have to get titles or not.
Oh, I see. Okay, I'll take it.
Rhea, good morning.
Good morning, and how are you?
I am good. How about you?
I'm pretty okay. I've recovered. I know that some weeks ago I was called out by you, so I have appeared. Yeah. I've come out of the hole. So here I am.
The black and blue bruises have gone.
They've healed. Yeah, they've healed.
We're not doing a postmortem this morning. That body has gone in. Rigor mortis have already taken over that body.
Wow.
So we ain't going there. We're looking futuristic. I've heard of your extended version of your GFA Sandals under 15 football tournament. Give me some backdrop on that.
All right. So we first started, or the GFA first started the under 15 tournament in 2018, and since then we have been blessed to have Sandals Grenada as our sponsors, our title sponsors. So they're sponsoring for this year again. And the U15 tournament is a developmental one for our youth players to get some on-the-field experience and get practice for their techniques. And so we're here again. We're launching the tournament, and it will be the 5th edition. So normally the tournament would have been played over just about 6 weeks, but our president has announced that it will be extended for 6 months.
Wow.
And so you would have more time for the players to, get that on the field experience. And also in between that time, they'll have a lot more training so that they can get better. Because the more you play, the more chances you have to perfect your craft and so. So it will be done over a 6-month period now, as opposed to 6 weeks. And we have 20 teams registered. So they will be broken up into 2 groups, and then they will play amongst each other and get to a quarterfinals and a semifinals and a finals. And the nice thing about it is that our president wants the matches to be played in what he calls prime time. So over the weekend and, in the afternoons where you usually see Premier League matches, you'll be able to see the under 15 boys play, because sometimes the matches were held during the week and probably after school, and parents are at work, a lot of people are at work, and they were not able to play in front of a big crowd.
I like that. Mm-hmm. I like that. And something that I even like further is the fact that your team, when I say your team, your management team, you all have sought to decentralize the thing. Like, for example, it's being launched at Cuthbert Peters Park in Guave. Usually something like that, you'll find it, stadium, everything downtown. And for those like Andre Jerome and those guys that like to say, country and tongue, and Mike Alexis and them, nothing like that. We're decentralizing it. We're bringing it up. I like that.
Yes, it is indeed being decentralized. So our launch, as you said, takes place this Saturday at Cuthbert Peters Park from 2:30 p.m. And yes, while some matches will require you to be at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, when we can, we like to bring football back into the community, because we have really, really great support from people in the community. When you go to Progress Park, there's a crowd, and the crowd sometimes is often larger than what you see
in the stadium.
In the stadium, of course. Yes, because from the outer parishes, we have diehard fans of football that always come out. So anytime we get a chance to decentralize, go to a different venue to get a different feel, a different atmosphere, we try to do that. And you saw that when we had all our international friendlies, and now we're kicking off the Sandals GFA National U15 Boys Tournament at Cuthbert Peters Park this Saturday.
Now, in addition to the youngsters really getting the craft together, the under 15. But what is the primary objective of the under 15 tournament? It usually, as you said, it usually ran for 6 weeks, but now it's been extended to 6 months. What is the primary objective of that?
Right. So the primary objective, when you look at what's happening now, if a child is not attached to a grassroots academy, how much football are they playing? So we have already started out at a disadvantage when compared to, let's say, a child in the US or Canada, who by the age of maybe 8 will have at least probably 100 matches under their belt already, and they have the basics down packed. But other than, let's say, the primary school competition, secondary school competition, how much football is really being played by our youth? So this is one of the ways that we can get them to play more football, to finally hone their skills. And then it's double fold, because when you have these competitions, then you are able to look at talent, scout talent for whenever we have a competition coming up. So then you are able to see the talent, then you can pick from different clubs for the players that you've seen, and then you can use that group or work with that group to do an age group competition. So they're U15 now, but they can move on to U17, and once that pathway continues and it's clear, then they could move up to U19, U20, and then the senior men's national team.
Yeah, that to me that is wisdom. In essence, being able to identify the talent from now, I think with the vision that the GFA has currently, if you can identify a player at, let's say, under 15, you might be able to keep that player under your fold and see a national player, a national senior player, even while they're under 15, and you can. And I just wish that we reached to that stage. And in a conversation I had with the Minister of Sports, Honorable Ron Redhead, a couple of weeks ago, that's just during the intercall time.
Mm-hmm.
And the focus is getting the logistics in place that once you can identify a national athlete, no matter what discipline, sporting discipline, but they should be treated differently because they're now a national asset. So once we can identify them, then they remain on a program or campaigns that we know this is something that we have to cherish.
Right. And then the other dimension, they can be seen by coaches, especially if the GFA brings in scouts, and so they could be seen by scouts, coaches, or you channel them into getting a scholarship so that they can experience football, whether it be in the United States or in England, experience the professionalism that is out there, play for their colleges, and that they're being well taken care of, so they could always come back and represent their nation.
Good.
So giving them an opportunity as well through sports.
So 6 months for the U15 tournament, that's good. And as I understand it, all teams will get to play against each other.
So the intention is to divide the 20 into 2 groups, and then the 2 groups, the teams will play amongst themselves in the group, and then they would arrive at the quarterfinals, then the semifinals, and the finals.
Okay, all right. I promised myself and also promised you not to go back there.
You said Rigamotti set it already,
Yeah, but I believe in rebirth.
Okay.
Just one quick thing. Have we learned from that experience? As I said to you before we came on the set, we never lose. We either win or we learn.
Mm-hmm.
Have we learned from what? Was it 13 now?
It was... Where did you get 13?
I know. Must add twice and divide once.
Wow. Okay. So the final score against the USA was 7-1.
7-1. Okay.
Yeah. But I must say our goal of the night was the best goal.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw it.
No, I tried to see it. I was up at the hospital. I tried to see if I could have seen it from there, but someone was blocking me. Okay. I didn't see it.
All right.
Yeah.
So but we have highlights. We shared highlights on social media. But many takeaways, many things to learn from, and it's now over to our head coach, Anthony Nixon Modeste, to go back and look at what we need to change. I can tell you that the senior men's national team, they resumed training on Tuesday. They started off, doing strength work, and so that they can test their fitness after the little lull that they had, and then they go into full-blown training. But training has resumed, and they are looking forward now to the Gold Cup preliminary qualifications. So it's not the group stage yet; it's a preliminary
to see if they could get into the 12.
Yes, to see if they can get into the group stage, and then work their way up from that. Okay. So we face Guyana. I was watching the draw, and I was telling everybody in the office, we are going to get either Trinidad or Guyana. And, so said Guyana. Yes, so said, so done. So the head coach is saying that it's a favorable draw. Guyana as an opponent. Of course, we're not going to look at them as a walkover, but we are going to do our best, do what we have to do, face Guyana, and then after that, we will face the winner between Trinidad and Guadeloupe.
Okay.
And that is also favorable. We know Trinidad. We've played Trinidad already. They've been doing very, very well in competition. But it's something that is achievable. It's doable, and I think we can get through the preliminaries. I know one of the big takeaways is that there's a feeling that we cannot continue to do things as we do it now. Players coming from work and then having to go to train. We should elevate and lift so that we get to a semi-professional sort of outfit, or something that allows a group of players to have football as their primary job or primary.
They're encamped.
Yes. Yeah. And then they get a salary from that, and that's all that they focus on.
Let it eat, drink, sleep, the other S, football.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
That's it, basically.
Right. Ria, there's a conversation we would have to have subsequently because we run out of time.
Yes.
One final question. When is the Gold Cup? When that match with Guyana and Grenada?
Okay, so it's on the 17th of June, and it's in Florida at the DRV PNK Stadium in Florida.
When I read it yesterday, I said, what a long name of abbreviations, DNV, PNK. Just say the name of the thing.
Yes. So
typical Americans like to make easy things.
And then it's at 9 p.m. And it can be viewed in the region on ESPN.
Okay. Ria, we'll have that conversation subsequently. I see your old-time friend trying to intervene. Ria, good morning. Not Ria, Nisha. Good morning, Nisha. All right, you just give me up like that, braps. Ria, take over. Yeah, well, yeah. I wouldn't. There's a word I was going to use, but I'll get fired. So, yeah. Folks, we got to pull it here. We got to pull it here because we have some folks who look forward to that news bulletin from the BBC. So we got to pull it. But Ria, you're always you're part of the GBN thing. You know what I'm saying? So you're always welcome. And
yes, still family.
Of course. All right. Folks, this is where we pulled the conversation this morning. Those of you who participated one way or the other, thank you for being a part. I know your mouths were itching to get into the conversation because there's a plethora of things that we needed to talk about this morning, but we did not get a chance. But God is good. We'll have some time next week again. I claim life next week. All right, so that's it for the program. Thanks for being a part. Bye-bye.